Machedo Sweeney from LoyMachedo.com, and who's Loy Machedo. Today the date is, what's the date? 28 December 2015. Time right now is 2:30 in the evening. Sorry, in the afternoon. What am I saying? All right. Just wanted to share with you my opinion as to the 5 biggest challenges for expatriates living in the UAE. Now, you know, everyone wants to come down to Dubai. Everybody, whether any part of the world, everyone wants to come to Dubai. They know it's tax-free. They know that this place is pretty dynamic. You can really succeed. There are so many world records being broken. Dubai is like the most happening place in the world. And, you know, given the fact that they show in ads such expensive, luxurious cars, the biggest, tallest, most giant, largest, you know, malls, buildings, cars, whatever. Everything happens in Dubai. Even Hollywood is wanting to come to Dubai, and they've shot movies like Mission Impossible and even you know, so many other, like even Star Wars was shot in Abu Dhabi. So everyone wants to come to Dubai, but everything is not just so rosy in UAE overall. And given the fact that I was raised in this country, I've been here for the past 36 years, I would say that there are 5 biggest, there are challenges, but these are the 5 that I would say are the biggest challenges for any expatriate who comes down to UAE. Okay, now these are subjective, but these are my views. So at number 5, it is the learning and growing phenomenon. Now you need to understand that Dubai is, Dubai is very young. It is hardly 40 years old since it has become so modern. So it's still a very virgin country. It's still with so much of potential. And you know, if you are in Dubai today, you go out of Dubai for 1 year and you come back the next year, you'll be shocked. You'll be like, hey, this building was not there. Oh, today it's there. This highway was not there. It is there. So Dubai is growing at a rapid pace. I mean, it's just incredible. And the reason why I'm only speaking about Dubai, because Dubai is the center. It is the place. It is the vision of the ruler is so dynamic that it keeps evolving. So what do I mean by learning and growing is, if you do not upgrade your skills, if you are just happy with a singular job in the same position, you're not upgrading your skills, you're not learning anything new, you're not going for seminars, for coaching classes, for you know, learning new skills and techniques and you know, upgrading whatever it is that you know at your job, you will be outdated very soon. Because there are so many people who come down here, they stick to one company or one position for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Very soon you'll be thrown out. So the first biggest challenge is the pace at which people are learning and growing is phenomenally fast. So if you want to survive in Dubai, the first biggest challenge that you'll face is learning and growing. You need to keep learning, you need to keep studying, you need to keep evolving, otherwise you'll be extinct. So at number 5, it's learning and growing. At number 4, according to me, is the working visa. Now you need to understand that if you have to get a job in Dubai, obviously you need a visa. Now in many ways, that can be a bane and that can be a boon also. What do I mean by a boon? Once you get a job, obviously because they spend so much money, so you are kept in the job for at least you know, 3 years, and they have to give you something, you know, some target or some amount of work. So here what happens most of the time, people are very complacent, and many times they can waste their time. You would see in many companies that they are sitting and doing nothing. Sometimes they're just wasting the time chatting on the phone or on the internet. But this does not happen overseas. Overseas, if you're paid by the hour, so you have to work and produce results every hour. So here it is not so strict. So in that way, you know, it's a little bit not so stressful. However, where it can be a bane at the same time is sometimes the targets can be inhuman, and you will have so much of pressure, and you can't quit the job because you've taken a visa. And if you decide to leave, there are repercussions. So obviously you can't just leave and say, I don't want to work. Like in many other countries in the US, or let's say even if you are a citizen of your country, let's say you know, I have an Indian passport. Now if I go down to India, if I don't like a job, I can say, oh, okay, I don't want to work for you. The next day I don't need to come to work. I can go and, you know, work for someone else. I can change 5 jobs in 5 days if I want, which I did in Dublin. When I was working in Dublin, you can just change your job. But here, once you take up an employment, you can't leave so easily because there's a binding contract. So in that way, you are stuck for 3 years. So you cannot leave so very easy. So the next one is working visa. And I think the biggest challenge in the working visa is, if you do lose your job, you have to exit the country or you have to get another job. So in some ways, that can be pretty stressful. It can be pretty it can be pretty inundating, because especially if your children are studying in a school in middle of their year, and you lose your job. So what do? How do you, get a solution to this? Because obviously they are under your visa. So the working visa can be a bit of a challenge. So if you're taking up a job, you have to be sure that that is a job that you like. And that's a catch-22 situation, because the employer doesn't know you, because at the interview you portray yourself as perfect, and you do not know the employer because you still have to get to know him. So, when you're stuck for a contract for 3 years, it can work either way. So at number 4, it is a working visa. And, this is just a thought. If in case they didn't have the visa, let's say tomorrow they say, okay, all the expatriates, you do not need a working visa, you can work anywhere. I'm sure 90% of the people would change their jobs immediately, because everyone wants to move in a free market. So at number 4, it would be the challenge of the working visa. At number 3, it would be the credit card debt. Now, you need to understand, here in Dubai, it's such an amazing place. They give you so much of opportunities. I have never heard of any other country in the world where you can start a business and you can break even in a year or 2 years. Even in India, I've never heard of any business being able to have such a fast turnover. Here, so many businesses open up every single day. At the same time, businesses do close down. Now, the fact of the matter is, this can be a double-edged sword. What do I mean by the credit card debt is, because finance is so easily available, so many people, they lack the self-control to use this in a proper way. There are so many people who have taken credit cards. There are so many people who have fallen into debt. And it's so shocking that once many people, I would say roughly 80-90%, do not know how to use a credit card. Even I got credit card debt by taking a risk and investing in a business. And it took me 2 years to clear 70,000. And to clear out 75,000, I paid 71,000 dirhams as interest. So you can imagine how long it took me. So the credit card debt is, because credit is available so easily, many people don't have the self-control or the maturity to handle this, and this can also backfire. And also remember this, in Dubai there are so many amazing temptations, like good shoes, good clothes, amazing cars, and the banks offer you so many facilities. So people, fall into this trap of being tempted into getting everything and anything. So this can also prove to be a major challenge, even though it's a great opportunity, but it can also prove to be a great threat. The second one is at number 2. I would say the biggest thing is the rising rents. Till date, I've never heard of rents falling down. The rents always keep going up, 5%, 2%, 10%. Like for example, in the residence I'm staying, previously it was, I think it started as 27,000 here in Sharjah, and after 3 years, obviously they can increase the rent. So from 27,000, it got increased to 45,000. Where's 27,000 dirhams? 45,000. So that was a huge jump. That's almost like 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's like just double. So what happens in some other places, they can increase by 5%. So a 5% may not look like much, but if you talk of an increase of 5% every year, I think it becomes really hard, because obviously salaries do not increase that much. So, and number 2, the biggest challenge of living in the UAE is the rising rents. And yes, I wish there was a solution to that, because till now I don't see the rents coming down. I hope they do come down. And the biggest challenge of living in the UAE, the biggest one, by far, that is the one I'm facing right now, is Dubai is UAE is such a beautiful place. It is so addictive. You don't want to leave this place, because the security is so amazing. The facilities are so amazing. The law and order is so perfect. You get treated with respect. There is, everything is so amazing in this place. But the fact of the matter is, if you're an expatriate, you're always an expatriate. You never become the citizen of this country. You can never. It's for all the Gulf states. They have this law where you cannot be a citizen. So the question is whether I stay here for 1 day, 5 days, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. The day my visa is over, working visa, or my visa gets expired, I have to leave this country. And if I do not get a visa, let's say because I'm 60 years old or 66, and they no longer can give me a visa, I have to leave this place. And I have to go back to the place where my passport was issued. So now, even though I've been in Dubai for like 36 years, or, you know, I'll be here for 40 years or 50 years, I'll have to leave this country and go back to my country, and then I don't know anyone there. I have to start all over from scratch. It would be like a pretty scary thought to just imagine that, you know, after being in this country, which is like my home, I will be asked to leave. So I think this would be one of the biggest challenges facing any expatriate living in this country, that, you know, you have to go back. You have to go back and, you know, given the fact that, you know, I've spent my childhood here, there are so many beautiful memories here. It's kind of saddening to even think that I have to leave this place, because you just don't know what would you do or where would you go. So yeah, so for me, these are the 5 biggest challenges for any expatriate living in the UAE. At number 5, it would be the learning and growing, because Dubai is growing at or UAE is growing at such a fast pace. So you have to keep learning if you have to keep yourself abreast. At number 4, it is the working visa, where once you get stamped for 3 years, well, you obviously cannot change your job, even if you don't like the job. So it's like a catch-22. You don't know what to do. And at obviously, if you have to change your job, you have to find another job, or if you don't have a visa, immediately you need to find another job. And number 3 is the credit card debt, because so many amazing, festivals come, so many great offers, so many amazing products at such amazing prices. So, and given the fact that the credit card debt, the credit cards and loans are available so easily, you can easily fall into the credit card debt if you're not smart. Number 2, I would say, is the rising rents, because rents have never come down, they've always gone up. So it all depends. When your income is limited, how do you, manage the expenses? And number 1, I think the biggest challenge would be, after being here for 20 years, 30 years, or whatever, or 40 years, like my parents are here for 47 years, they just had to be sent back, and now they're lost, So these, I would say, are the 5 biggest challenges for expatriates living in UAE. These are my views. Let me know what are yours. I love Dubai. I think UAE is the greatest place on the planet, the most amazing place, the most secure place in the world. And it's just sad for me to think that one day I have to leave this place. So yeah, these are my views. Let me know what are yours. Love to hear from you. Goodbye for now.